If you are just so tired of the fact that your English absolutely sucks, this interview is for you. What's up, good looking guys and girls? My name is Eggman. I'm a dude from Taiwan who is pretty passionate about learning English. Today,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be interviewing my fellow Asian English learner. He's an
Oh yeah.
absolute expert. He speaks phenomenally impressive English. He's a handsome guy from Korea. And right now, he actually also coaches people on how to become great at speaking English. So he's a wealth of knowledge, guys. Today, your boy has prepared lots of great questions that I'm going to be asking him. And I'm sure if you carefully listen to today's interview, you are going to learn so much more about what are some mistakes you want to be avoiding if you want to improve your English, and what are some key things you want to be focusing on. Yeah, but welcome to my interview for the second time, Sun Bing. I really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man. I mean, for sure there will be American subscribers on your YouTube as well, right? On your podcast.
Yeah, I
American or
already
like
have
English
some English
speakers.
followers.
Yeah, so they would speak way much better English than I do. But, as an Asian guy not being able to speak English at all, I think I can share some of the tips to the your Taiwanese subscribers and to my subscribers who are watching this video, possibly. Let's get it, man.
Let's go.
Mhm.
So, let me give you a slightly challenging question to start things
Mhm.
off.
Uh-huh.
Why should English learners listen to you when it comes to learning English? Like, what makes you worth listening to?
What makes me worth listening to? Like I've never I don't think I've seen an Asian guy achieving almost 4 million subscribers by speaking English. But in the past, I was a guy not being able to speak English at all, right? But I all did it with the self-taught method, which is the method that I'm gonna be explaining later on. And I don't think I've seen a guy, literally Asian guy, being able to achieve like 2.2 million followers by speaking only in English. I mean, I gathered all these like international followers, right, by speaking English content. Although my the content that I used to film was like viral content, and it was so easy for me to gain lots of views, gain lots of followers. But still, I don't think I've seen a guy. And then it's the really easiest. I mean, I wouldn't say it's easiest. It requires a lot of like hard work, right? But it's the simplest way to master English, I would say.
Interesting.
Uh huh.
Well, you did a much better job than I expected. Awesome.
Uh huh.
That's very convincing.
Uh huh.
So, how good do you think your English is on a scale of 1 to 10, and why?
1 to 10. But if I compare my English to the English speakers, right, the native speakers, obviously it's gonna be like I don't know, like 7 or 8 in the daily, like in terms of the daily conversations, right? But with the area that I'm working in, that I'm teaching currently about the shadowing method, and then when I talk about the animal-based diet, the things that I know, I can speak so much better than the native speakers. I think it's based on the topic, If I talk about, for example, the animal-based diet, or like carnivore diet, or like how to build a social media presence, how to gain lots of followers, and let's say how to build a personal brand and monetize out of it. If I talk about this with the native speakers, right? They cannot obviously they're not going to be able to talk a lot in this specific area, right? So let's say in my area, I think I'm the best. Yeah, but obviously in daily conversations, when I do the daily conversations, I sometimes make mistakes, but doesn't matter. I'm still able to communicate with them. You know.
Okay, so let me talk about your English learning journey.
Mm-hmm.
I know you used to live in Singapore. Can you talk about when was that, and do you think that helped with you learning English at all?
It's Malaysia actually,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Malaysia. Uh-huh. But yeah, I lived in Malaysia when I was 5. I lived there for like a year and a half when I was really, really, really a kid, right? And even that time, I couldn't speak English at all. I mean, a bit, because Malaysia is an English speaking country, right? But for my entire life, I was living in Korea till 5, and then I went to Malaysia, and then even despite the fact that I was living in Malaysia, for like a year and a half, I couldn't speak a lot. Like simple one, but I was speaking like this. Hello, or that used to be true. All this simple stuff. And then I was living with my Korean family. I was talking with my Korean family in Korean all the time. So that did not affect me a lot. But the thing is, because of the experience, I think I kind of got familiar with talking with the foreigners, I would say, because I was meeting a bunch of like people across the globe, right? Yeah. So because like normal typical Koreans, they never go abroad. They hardly see any foreigners. They're literally trapped in the country, thinking Korea is the best. I don't know, but me personally, I could meet much more people. That kind of affected me, but that did not affect me in my English fluency. That's my conclusion.
But another thing is the accent that Malaysians have when they are speaking English is much different from the accent you have right now. So that's a thing we need to remember, I guess. Because like if I suppose if going to Malaysia help with you learning English a lot, then maybe right now you will speak more like a Malaysian when you're speaking English.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So would you say you just accepted pretty standard Korean English education when you were growing up? Aside from
Oh,
the
for
fact that you
sure.
went to Malaysia for like a couple times, a little while.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, do you know about Hagwon? Like the concept of Hagwon? Like it's called learning center. Like Korean students, right? After the school finishes, they go to some place called Hagwon and they do the after study till like freaking 10 p.m. and then after that they come back to their home and then they do the assignments and they go to sleep at like 12 or 1 and then they wake up at 7 and they go to the school again. This is like the typical cycle of a Korean student. But I did not study that hard since I was a since I was in middle school, high school, I was skeptical about the system. Like everyone's going to the best university as possible and trying to get the freaking best job. I knew that it's freaking matrix. That's a so-called system. But still, I was following their route. I was going to Hagwon, the learning center, for every single day after school, at least for like 2 hours, and then I was doing the freaking assignment. But English Hagwon, right? They only teach about the grammar, like subject, verb, objective. I still don't know what that is. I don't know grammar. Yeah, I still don't know what that is. But because they also, you know, there's such thing as Korean SAT. Korean SAT is the test that Koreans do to get the best score as possible to go to the best university as possible. And in Korean SAT, there's this like English test as well, but they're solely focusing on the grammar. Oh, what is this like grammar mistake in this like context? Oh, what is like the grammar like? It's all about the grammar. So that's why they don't teach the speaking. So that's why like even despite the fact that I was going to Hagwon for a lot of years as a typical Korean, like how other normal 99% of Koreans do, I only knew about the pretty small grammar. But even that grammar, I did not enjoy, so I didn't even know. So that did not help me with English. But obviously,
Mm.
I knew a lot of words. Because Korean students they're memorizing vocabulary every single day. I knew a lot of words. I would say English
Okay,
words.
so sounds pretty similar to my country's education. Yeah, but
Yeah,
I,
all the
I
same, right?
understand. What did you say?
It's all the same. Taiwan, China,
Yeah, yeah,
Japan,
like
Korea.
you spend a lot of time learning English, but you are not seeing a lot of results because they are
Uh huh.
focusing on what doesn't work essentially.
Mhm.
Yeah, but yeah, I can understand that you didn't get a lot of special education when you were growing up because that's what
Mhm.
a lot of people care about. They want to know if you are like you have some special advantages, I guess.
Mhm.
Because people want to justify for the fact that their English is not good enough. If you want
Uh
to know
huh.
what I mean, like they want to find excuses for them.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
They want to say that my English is not as good as him because he's blah 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 blah.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
but I guess basically your starting point, would you say it's like pretty similar to other people in Korea?
Yeah, yeah. Normal. To be honest, like normal Koreans, I think they speak way much better English than I did in the past. You know, I posted my English in the beginning. It was so terrible, and then, you know, I think I was literally a normal or below average, I would say. Yeah, and then all these people that you were describing about, the people saying that the all these NPCs are complaining that, oh, they, yeah, he lived in Malaysia for a year, so that's why he speaks English better than me. They're just freaking trying to like make excuses, and they're the ones. Those are the typical people not making effort at all. You know, those are the ones not making effort at all, and then complaining about the fact that their English is not improving, their life isn't changing. Their life, right? It's not only English that is not improving, it's their mindset, and it's their freaking life that is not improving as well, you know? That kind of mindset.
Nice.
Yeah.
But I think it can be pretty encouraging for people to know that it's possible for them to achieve your level, because what you're saying is you don't have any special advantages. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true, because Leo, I believe we can achieve any kind of reality we want in this life, you know? If you want to, you know, be the best podcast, is it called podcaster?
Or like interviewer, no matter what you want to
Interviewer
say.
in Taiwan. I mean, you can be, and then on like if you want to earn tons of money by doing the work that you truly enjoy, you can. I mean, people are just like thinking that it's impossible, so that's why they're not even starting it. But if you think it's possible, and if you just go for what, everything is possible, you know.
Yeah. How good do you think your parents' English is?
Ah, my mom. Let's start off with my mom. My mom. You know, in Korea, I was like talking to her in English all the time, though she could not speak English at all. Yeah, because that's the method. I was like trying to expose myself to English all the time, and I did not want to even talk with my mom in Korean. So like her English was improving as I talked to her in English all the time. But you know, now that I try to talk to her through the video call again, she's like, I'll just scale from 1 to 10, like two, 2 or 3. My dad, but the thing is, my dad, he lives in Vietnam, right? He lives in Vietnam, and he's like doing business in English, so he does speak English. But the thing is, he has this like strong Korean accent. He speaks like this. Hey Leo, Leo, I am doing the podcast. Is really good. You're doing really good. You're interviewing a lot of people, and then I've seen your Instagram list on. I've seen it a lot, and you are interviewing a lot of people who are doing the animal based diet, and it's really good. He's speaking like this, you know. But the thing is, my dad, so he can express whatever he wants, and he's also doing business in English. But the thing is, I did not get affected by him because he was living in Vietnam, and he was coming to Korea like, let's say, once or twice a year. So I mean, I couldn't really learn a lot from him, but still, every time he comes, I really try to talk to him in English a lot because I loved the language English. You know, I loved just talking in English.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The reason I'm asking you this is kind of also for people that want to make excuses. You know,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I just want to help people understand that your situation.
Uh-huh.
If you
Uh-huh.
have any like special advantages. Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. So it sounds like.
If my father lived in Korea for a long time, then it makes sense, right? But he was living in Vietnam for
But the thing
a lot of
is,
time.
he probably doesn't even speak that good English, judging from your
Uh-huh.
description. So even if your dad spoke English with you a lot, I guess the fact that you speak good English now is there are still like other reasons,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
if you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
which we're gonna reveal one by one from now on.
Yeah. So you kind of mentioned Korea's typical English education.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about it a little more and tell us what do you think about it?
Typical education system in Korea.
English education.
English education is shit, you know, seriously shit, you know? Like English education in Korea is programmed, it's designed in a way that Korean students learn only the freaking grammar and let's say vocabulary, not the speaking. So that's why even if they get the great score, the best score in the Korean SAT in English, right? Even if they go to the best university, they still speak like shit. They cannot speak English, you know? And then also the Korean learning centers, the Hagwon, so-called Hagwon, they're like a lot of Koreans are paying tons of money to get into the Hagwon, and Hagwon is only teaching the grammar-focused English. So that's why it's like the whole system is just like it's it's just so terrible. Hagwon is designed in a way so that students can get the grade score in English in school, but which is like only grammar focused. And even if they get the grade score in school and get the grade score in SAT, like they will not speak English fluently. Like the whole system is just like nonsense. I hate it, you know?
I can kind of talk about Taiwan's English education. I think it's kind of similar. Like, you don't get opportunities to expose yourself to a lot of English. Like, they don't really tell you to read lots of articles. They just like give you a short article each lesson and teach you a grammar. And like, I'm able to speak English pretty well right now, and it's not because of the English education I got. Like, in the past, I was stuck. Like, I got all the English education, and I wasn't seeing a lot of results. Basically, there's also a matrix, English learning matrix. You need to learn some information people don't talk about in order to actually improve very fast. Yeah. What do you think about this? Do you can you relate?
Relate to English matrix?
Just what I said.
Yeah, true. Because like Taiwan, I think it's similar to Korea. Like they try to translate the English article in Korea. What they focus on is like translating into Korean. You know, so whatever they want to say in English, they cannot say it because what they're good at is like translating it and then analyzing the sentence, and then as you said, the grammar focus studying. So it's freaking useless, you know.
So can you talk about some unsex fuck?
Uh-huh.
Can you talk about some unsuccessful moments along your English learning journey? Like moments where you feel like your English is so bad and you don't know what to do.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
I think, you know, to be honest, like I think like the first year of my journey, first year of my English learning journey, I was, you know, learning English with the shadowing method, right? Like shadowing method is like exactly repeating the line of the actors and actresses in the drama. I picked like Australian shows and then like American dramas, and then I just exactly repeated the same line. When they said like, "Oh, how's it going?" I said exactly the same. "Oh, how's it going?" These kind of things, you know? I did this for a year, and then I hit a plateau. My English was like so stagnant that it wasn't improving a lot. So what did I do? I just went much more crazier. I was, yo, the reason my English was not improving so fast is I wasn't putting enough input, the effort. So as soon as I realized, oh, it's not improving so fast, I made more effort. The thing is, I was only doing the shadowing every single day for like 1 to 2 hours, and that wasn't enough. I had to literally, you know, change my entire environment. Like the content consumption as well. I ditched out all these like Korean content, and then I only consumed the English content. And then I went much more crazier in speaking only English, and even in Korean school. My school was not even an international school. It was a freaking normal school. Like there's this like normal Taiwanese high school like that, right? Same as Korea, like normal Korean school. They never speak English, you know. But even to the teachers, I was speaking to them in English all the time. Even to the students, I was talking to them in English all the time. Even my YouTube, I was filming I start to film in English, even though I was not that good at it. Even though my English was not that fluent. So I tried to change my entire environment in English, and then just devote not only 1 to 2 hours a day, but like 4 to 5 hours or like 8 to 9 hours. And then after the school, calling with the British friend all the time for hours and hours. It's all about the input. The more you put the input, the hard work, the faster you improve. As you're doing, like I can tell, like in the beginning of your podcast journey, your English was not this great. But the more you do the podcast, the more you edit your video, the more you're exposing to the native speakers English, the more you talk with the native speakers every single time, like you're improving so massively, right? Same, exposure. I increase the exposure.
Yeah. Can you talk about before you started to take learning English very seriously? How bad was your English? Kind of describe that.
To be honest, it was not that bad. It's not that bad because normal Korean.
I guess like if you are a typical Korean or typical Taiwanese, your English cannot be ridiculously bad because people spend a lot of time learning it. But it's just like not very good, right?
Yeah. Like when we go to like Korean street, Hongdae, for example, like and then when the English speakers ask something in English to them, right? Obviously they're not gonna be speaking so fluently, but they're all able to speak, at least like express something. Oh, you like let's say Leo, you're trying to go to the Chinese restaurant in Hongdae, and you're asking some questions. Oh, where can I go to this like hot pot restaurant, the Chinese restaurant here in Hongdae? They're gonna say like, oh, you go there, and then turn right. 이게 맞나? 이게 맞아? turn right 이게 맞나? 이게 맞나? They're gonna speak Korean a bit. 이게 맞나? turn right. Yeah. Go there and then turn right. But they're gonna say like this. They're able to speak a bit, and me as well. Like to be honest, I was not that terrible. I can speak a bit of like simple phrases like this as like Taiwanese as well. Taiwanese, they can at least like speak a little bit, right? What I meant by a little bit is like really like simple words. Like, how are you? Oh, I'm doing great. What's your what do you want to do in the future? What is your favorite work? Oh, I love making videos. I love making easy like this kind of things. I could do it as well. That was my beginning level.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty understandable. Unless you are like always sleeping during English classes. A typical Korean is probably not going to be super horrible at English. You are probably still going to know some vocabulary words and make some basic sentences. Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But it's like not fluent at all, basically.
I couldn't say I'm fluent, but I couldn't say I'm. If I be honest, I couldn't say I was bad at it. My English was bad because I knew a lot of like vocabulary.
Yeah.
But even if you don't know anything, you can master English. That's the thing that I want to say. Because some people watching this podcast, oh, what? But I don't speak at all, though. But my friend, right? I have a friend whose name is Hyungmin, and he only knew the English alphabet, A B C D E F G, the alphabet. But he implemented the exact method that I'm teaching to the members who are joining my program at the moment, and I couldn't say he mastered English, but now he's so freaking fluent, even though he has a bit of like Korean accent, And he was a guy not being able to speak English literally at all. But me, okay, like simple words I could say, but him, not at all. But so that's why those of you guys who are watching this podcast complaining, oh, I cannot speak at all, like there's no excuse because he did it as well. If someone did it, you can do it as well,
All right. That's perfect. We cut out all the excuses by this point.
Yeah.
I feel like. So if you are listening and you still have some excuses, you can share in the comments. I'll tell Sun Bin to prove you wrong.
Every single excuses they're making is just bullshit, It's just like keeping themselves from achieving the version that they want to become,
Okay, let me see. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Feel free to let me know if I'm laggy or anything. So when you were growing up, what did you think about learning English? Like when you were growing up, did you already feel like one day you want to become very good at English?
Ah, yeah. Let's say like there was a time of my family visiting Malaysia again for travel. Yeah, and that's the time I realized. But can you hear me well though?
Yes.
Okay, that's yeah. When we went back to Malaysia for a travel, and then I was meeting a lot of like foreigners, right? Foreigners, the people who are not Koreans. In my perspective, there were a lot of like Caucasians, and then white people, black people, and then like Malaysians and etc. But I realized, wow, I just loved. I want to just talk to them. I just loved talking to them. But the thing is, I couldn't speak perfect English. That I couldn't. There was a lot of time I just couldn't initiate the conversation. Well, but it was so random because like before the travel, I couldn't really, I didn't really realize that I loved talking with the foreigners. But that time, wow, it was just so interesting. Like I just want to like talk to them without any reason. I just wanted to talk to them, but my English was not that great, so I was like, there was a lot of like conversations that I just didn't initiate. So that's why. And then like after came back to Korea, really like someday I watched a YouTube video of a Korean guy who's in this like 40s, who's in the 40s, not being able to speak English at all, but he shared his journey of mastering English. So those of you guys who are watching this video, also people who are in the 40s or 50s, they're gonna make the excuse, oh, but Sinbin he was young. I'm gonna cut out all that bullshit right now as well, because yeah, like I watched that video and then damn, and then he was like showing himself talking with the foreigners as well, and then I realized, wow, that's what I really want as well. I really want to like just talk with the foreigners. That's the initial point. I just wanted to talk with the foreigners. That's all I want. That's all I wanted, and then I just like started it with just for fun. I would say in the beginning.
Okay. So after that trip, did you just start to seriously try to improve your English, or is only when
Nah,
you
nah, nah.
came across the 40-year-old guy's video that you want to start like becoming serious?
Yeah, the people the guy who is in the 30s or 40s, that guy. After I watched his video, I realized I just want to start after the trip to Malaysia, right? When
Yeah,
I came
yeah,
back to Korea, I just went back to the normal NPC life, going
yeah.
to the school and Hagwon, the learning center again, and living the same NPC's life like are the normal 99% of students out there. Yeah.
Okay. Um.
Uh-huh.
So did that guy? Um. Can you share with the listeners who's that guy if they want to check
Uh,
out the same video?
yeah, his name is like in Korean, Yang King, Yang King.
Maybe
If you
you
want.
can text me later. I can put it in somewhere in the video.
Yeah, if you want, I can just like
Yeah,
send you again. But yeah, there
yeah,
was this
yeah,
guy
yeah.
called Yang King, and his English was so terrible, so terrible. Wow, like it's like I would say his English was like below average. But later on, like he was going to Australia and talking with the Australians, drinking beer, having fun, and damn, I realized, damn, it is possible. If he did it, I can do it as well. That
Mm,
kind of gave me the hope,
yeah, yeah. Interesting.
you know.
Did you only saw one of his videos, or you just watch all the videos on his channel?
I got into the loophole. Like once I start to watch his one video, I was so curious about his method and
Mm, wow.
his story and everything. So I watched tons of it, and then he's like him going to America, him going to Australia, him like talking with the foreigners in Korea as well. And then I kind of used his method, and then you know I'm combining with the methods that I discovered during the journey, and then this whole method I'm teaching to the members who are joining my program.
Sounds good. So, do you think your English right now is better than his?
Yo, I don't watch his English now. I don't watch his like videos now, but I don't know. But I think I can say now I'm a bit better because in terms of the accent and
Mm,
I don't know the delivery as well. Because like I was a YouTuber for a long period of time, and then I know how to deliver my message with the perfect articulation. If you know what I mean. When I say something, I just put tons of emotion into it, and then I would say it draws people's attention. But he's good at it as well, you know, because he learned his English by doing shadowing as well. That's when I found out about the shadowing, you know. But you know, I not only did the shadowing, but also tons of other like subconscious rewiring method and all these like, other methods that I'm implementing to myself as well. So I would say, I can confidently say, you know, my English is kind of better, you know. Yeah.
Nice.
Hmm. But his English is so crazy as well, you know. It's so good.
Well,
Hmm.
so can you talk about what are the methods you implemented that help you break through your English ability?
Uh-huh. It's just like first of all, there are tons of methods, seriously. Not only the shadowing, but if I talk about the shadowing first, that's the main method that we have to implement. Literally, we gotta pick the content that we love from Netflix or YouTube, because I believe that we have to learn English with the enjoyment, not in a study purposes. So it's important for us to choose the content that we truly love, and then we gotta download a program. Like there's this like program that we need to download to, you know, repeat the line, and then there's this like English line, and then there's this like transcription as well. If Taiwanese people are watching, like there's gonna be the exact like translation of the Taiwanese. If we, you know, like there's this app that we can use. It's called like Language Reactor in Chrome. We can download that from the Chrome browser store, and then it's just so great. Like we can go back to the when we press the A button, right? A button, we can go to the previous line, and then if we press the D button, you know, you see the keyboard right here, right? On your keyboard as well. If we press the D button, we're going to the next line. So it's so easy to control that we can repeat the line. If we couldn't repeat the line exactly the same, we can just go back to the previous line and then do it again and again and again and again. And then the S line is like repeating the current line again and again, if you know what I mean. And if you don't know the word, if you just like put your what is this called? Like this like still there are a lot of words that I don't know. This like arrow, mouse arrow. This one to the word that you don't know, the exact translation with the examples of the sentences using that word is all gonna pop out. You know, let's say the apple, right? Let's say this is apple, and then there's gonna be obviously the meaning of apple in Korean, and then other tons of like examples of the sentences using the word apple. It's so great. That program is so great. Got any question in terms of the shadowing? Or like I can move on
Yeah,
to the
I
next.
have a lot of questions about shadowing.
Uh-huh. Let's like tackle that one first.
Okay, sounds good.
Uh-huh.
So let me summarize what you were saying. Basically, you highly recommend people to download a Chrome extension, and it
Uh-huh.
allows you to, when you are watching videos, it can help you check the last line, the line that you are seeing right now, and the next line. And you can just keep repeating. And then when you see words you don't understand, you can just click onto the word, and there are going to be explanations and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. If we click the word that we don't know, right? Then there's gonna be explanation in Taiwanese if Taiwanese viewers are watching this video, and then there's gonna be like um yeah, what is that? What is the one called? Like the ones that like the book that explains the word in a so
Dictionary?
specific way. Dictionary, yeah, I like that one. Great, man. Leo's good at Leo speaks better English. Dictionary. There's also like dictionary features as well. Super great.
Okay, nice, nice. And
But
who is?
it's important as well. Like Leo, let's say it's important. Like it's important to choose the content that we love as well. But at the same time, it's important to let's say we want to take our English to another level. Let's say Leo, you speak like pretty great English, right? You speak pretty great English, and in your case, you can choose the content like podcast content. There's a lot of like interviewers who are doing the podcast so great, right? If you do the shadowing with that one, you're gonna be learning the interviewers, native speakers, interviewers expressions that they use in the podcast. that you can speak way much better English in terms of doing with every time when you do the interview, the podcast, right? For example, like let's say a person wants to be the vlogger, all right? Vlogger, just like they just want to like vlog around and they'll earn money out of it. Then they can just choose the content that they love. It'll be great if it's like vlogging, right? Then they're gonna be learning all these like expressions related to the vlogging, and then they're gonna be the master of vlogging, you know? Got it? Let's say like you want to earn tons of money as well. And then you want to learn the mindset of like the super successful CEOs. You can do the shadowing content of Alex Hamosi and then learn his mindset. And at the same time, you're gonna be learning his English, right? His expressions. You're not only learning his English, you're also learning the successful mindset. Because every time you keep repeating the lines, right? You're also learning their mindset as well. So if you want to take your English to another level, it's important to choose the content of a person who you want to become, you know? That's, yeah.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess you are telling people to be more intentional, like think about what they want. Because in the beginning, you just say enjoyment. Maybe people are not thinking about their goals, rarely thinking about that, right?
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
like,
Think about
if
the goals.
think about your
Intentional.
goals.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty cool.
Great.
That's interesting. Yeah, because like the things that someone is saying is basically what they are thinking, right? So if you just like try to repeat what they are saying, you are kind of just training yourself to think like them.
Great. So that's why there's a person in my program doing the shadowing with the School of Hard Knock. You know the show
Yeah.
School of Hard Knock. He's keep repeating that series again and again. That he's keep learning the billionaires and millionaires mindset in English. That his mindset is improving every single day. You know, it's all the information that we cannot have the access to if we speak only in Korean. You know. So like that's super great. Like if we do the shadowing with that kind of content, we're literally putting all these like mindset of a successful people in deep inside our subconscious mind that we get to become successful. That we get to be like learn all these like tricks, learn all this like mindset to become the version that we want to become. It's just so great. Shadowing is just more than learning English. It's also about just becoming the another person, like becoming like leveling up to the another identity, you know?
Wow, that's very interesting. This podcast is not about English learning alone right now. When you are shadowing, when you are like watching a video and you are trying to practice shadowing, do you play a sentence and then you pause the video and then you try to repeat, or you just keep playing the video and you try to keep like outputting?
We gotta repeat exactly the same without pausing. So let's say, Leo, you say, "Oh, let's start the podcast right now." Then don't pause the video. Go back to the beginning before you say, "Let's start the podcast," and then start the sentence. Let's go. Let's start the podcast right now. Say exactly the same with the same speed, same emotion, same accent. Let's start the podcast right now. You know, without pausing. We gotta listen to the speakers, and at the same time, we gotta speak it. While we're listening, we gotta speak exactly the same. You know, until we do it perfectly, we gotta repeat again and again. So that's why there was some line that was so freaking difficult that it took me like 40 minutes. Like at that time, for me, it was like the English speakers were saying like this. It sounded like that, but I literally repeated again and again that line until I can master exactly the same with the accent, emotion, intonation, and everything. And then I moved on to the next line. But sometimes when they speak so fast, right? I sometimes like slow down the speed. I sometimes slow down the speed from the original speed to like 0.5. And then once I could master 0.5, I speed it up again to original speed, and then once I could master it again, okay, that's the time I go to the next line, you know?
Okay, so let me try to summarize. Basically, you are suggesting people to just watch the video, and when you are listening, you just try to repeat. And then, if there are some parts that are more difficult for you, maybe you can pause and try to master that part.
Yes, but to be honest, like if I talk about shadowing, it's gonna be about like 2 to 3 hours because there's like too much to explain about the shadowing. So that's why I made the lessons in my program, right? But
Okay.
if I have to explain a bit more about the shadowing, you gotta just like first the proper method is you just gotta watch the series that you want to do shadowing with without any subtitle. Just without any subtitle. Just like watch it so that you can check your current English skills. Let's say Leo, you're trying to do the shadow with the podcast, all right? And then obviously there are a lot of moments that you don't understand, right? And that's your current English level. And then once you completed the shadowing process, right? You're gonna speak exactly the same with the interviewer and then the person who got invited as well. One by one line, like you're gonna repeat exactly the same with the line, and then you're gonna move on to the next sentence, and then if you can complete the next sentence as well, move on to the next line again and again and again and again and again. Maybe the podcast is like 1 hour, right? You're gonna eventually reach towards the end, right? And by mastering every single line, you're not only learning the sentence, you're only learning the vocabulary as well. You're also naturally learning the grammar structure as well. You're learning tons of it. And once you complete it one time, that's the time you go back to the beginning again and then do exactly the same. You gotta do it freaking 40 times. 40 times. From the beginning till the end, doing the shadowing 40 times. And then that's the moment you move on to the next episode, next podcast content. And then do exactly the same. Watch without the subtitle, and then you realize, damn, now I understand much more than previous time. In the previous time when I watched this podcast without any subtitle, wow, I could only understand about like 50% of what they're saying, but now I understand about like 60%. I improved. Every time if we do in this way, we can check our English getting better and better, like our listening skills improving better as well. Yeah.
Is there a way that you know if you are actually repeating sentence very accurately? Like, do you try to record yourself or something?
I do this all the time, man. Like when I film my YouTube videos, right? So that's why this is one of the methods as well that I'm gonna be telling you guys. We gotta record ourselves talking in English all the time. So that's why my members who joined the program, right? They're like publicly posting their English speaking videos on social media. Publicly. So because we get this like pressure that, oh, if we post our English speaking videos on online, what if someone judge my English? What if someone like point out the mistakes? That's great. So that's why we gotta post publicly. People will comment if we make the mistakes, right? People will comment right away. Especially when we target the English audience, they will like give us the advice, and that's great. Because I was posting my videos in English all the time, I was getting the feedback. Still, I'm getting the feedback. Still on this account, and when I post my videos, people are like giving me the feedback, but I'm happy with it. Because with the feedback, we can improve. Without the feedback, we're gonna be stagnant, So that's why we gotta constantly film ourselves talking in English all the time, and then while watching the replay, we're going to give the feedback to ourselves. What can we work on more? What are the expressions that we should have said? And then while filming in English, if we cannot like really say, because some people might say also, oh, I cannot speak English at all. How can I do this like method, right? So that's the time that you can just like speak in Taiwanese or Korean, if we cannot think of the words. And then when we are watching the replay, we get to learn the vocabulary that we're going to be actually using it, right? So that's why I don't really recommend to my members to buy all these like vocabulary book and then learn like hundreds of vocabulary every single day. Because with this method, we get to naturally learn the vocabulary that we actually use. That's our language. We get to actually learn our language. Because obviously, Leo, let's say you are going to be learning the expressions related to construction workers, like English expressions related to the construction, buildings. Obviously, you wouldn't have to know, right? You wouldn't have to know. You
Right.
just gotta know the English that you are gonna be speaking, right? So we only need to learn the English that we are gonna be actually using in our own area. So all the other bullshit English like expressions we don't need to use. I don't know. Like if I talk with the construction workers and talk about the construction, I don't know. Obviously, because I didn't learn that way. But in this area, I'm the best, you know. So, because I was filming videos in this area, in this topic all the time, English, animal-based diet, or like self-improvement, mindset, and etc. You know. Yeah, it's
Nice.
important.
It's like more aligned with what you need, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You are using the word you actually want to know how to use. Well,
Yeah,
you are trying to
yeah.
learn new words that you actually need.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So aside from using that Chrome extension, do you have other advice for people when it comes to how can they understand what people are saying in videos?
Repetition, man. Like, there's no secret to. I mean, there are secrets, obviously, but there's no big secrets to learn English fast. It's just the repetition. If we cannot understand native speakers, what native speakers are saying, we just gotta just like do tons of shadowing and then listen again and again and again and again, and that's the way. Literally, that's the way. Yeah, that's the way. For example, like in the beginning, obviously, I couldn't understand the native speakers' words a lot, right? But the thing is, that's the time I watched more content. I watched tons of Netflix without any subtitle most of the time, and then obviously in the beginning 90% of the time I couldn't understand the video. But the thing is, us as humans, we're very intelligent. Our brain starts to recognize the pattern. For example, like in the beginning, I didn't know the meaning of totally. You know, totally. I totally understand. I totally get you. They use totally, right? The thing is, totally. What is that? I couldn't understand. But the thing is, after I watch tons of content every single day, hours and hours, I start to recognize the pattern. Some people were saying like, "I totally understand what you're saying." I totally understand what you're saying. What is that? In the beginning, I didn't know, but in the another episodes, they were saying like, "I totally get what you mean." I totally get what you mean. And then I was hearing all these different types of situations using this word totally, and then I finally realized by myself, damn, I think that totally means like very. And when they want to emphasize something, and then I searched it up, it was correct. So because of the pattern recognition, our brain starts to like analyze the pattern, and then like we came to the conclusion, and then we found the meaning. You know. So that's why it's important to expose to English content just literally all the time. English speaking environment, listen to English all the time, speak to English all the time, so that we can improve our pattern recognition.
Do you think people should just try to go on dictionaries to know the words they don't understand? Because
Ah,
because based on what you are saying, I guess you don't think that's that important. You think you should just like keep exposing yourself to English.
well, yeah, there are tons of words that I'm naturally learning because of
Mm,
the pattern recognition. I don't need to
interesting.
search for the dictionary anymore because if you're exposed to the certain word more and more again and again with the repetition, we start to like analyze the pattern, and then we get to grasp the meaning naturally. That's the point. We don't want to be knowing the exact meaning in Korean all the time, in Taiwanese all the time. We get to like learn it by itself. Like if there's an English word, we just want to naturally learn it by itself. That's the point. That's the state that we want to be in. When you want to speak fluent English later on, we really want to change our subconscious mind in a way that we favor English as our dominant language. With every If we search it up in the dictionary all the time and then like search for, I mean, we can still, I do still, I search for some words, but if we learn English in a typical Asian way, Taiwanese way, Korean way, right? If we want to speak something, we get to think in Korean first and then like translate back to English, and then we speak it out. But what we want is like speaking out naturally without processing through our brain, you know?
Mm, mm. So I guess you are kind of suggesting people to not to that much emphasis on looking up words.
Yeah, we don't need to freaking analyze every single word. We can look
Mm-hmm.
for the translation, we can look for the meaning, but we don't have to go crazy about it.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Uh huh.
Do you recommend people to only watch a few people's videos in order to maybe just have one accent, or you think you can just watch like many different kinds of videos?
Oh, many different. It's up to their preference, you know. If there are only like few people they want to like look up to and they want to learn English from, then they can just like choose few, you know. Because now, in the beginning, English is they just want to learn English, but like there is this like methods that we have to implement step by step if we want to take our English to the next level, right? That's the point that we have to kind of get selective. We gotta be selective in whose English we're going to be learning, you know. So it's just it's up to them, you know.
Yeah,
It doesn't really matter.
Makes sense. Yeah, I guess sometimes people are like too caught up on the little details.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say like if someone wants to improve their English, they should just practice shadowing as much as they can?
Correct, 100%. Because like with the repetition, they learn the fastest. Babies, right? When they learn a new language, they hear tons of like let's say Korean baby learning a Korean, right? They will be hearing tons of Korean from their parents, right? Oh, like this is 아빠, 엄마, 아빠, 엄마, 밥 먹었어? Like the babies have to be exposed to like Korean all the time that they finally start to recognize the pattern and they know the meaning of dad, which is 아빠, know the meaning of mom, which is 엄마. They start to like, because of the amount of repetition that the babies are like exposing to themselves, they're learning so fast, right? Same with English. Tons of effort, tons of repetition, tons of shadowing. So that's why on the weekends I used to do like 5 to 8 hours of shadowing every single day, you know? But there's gonna be some people watching this like podcast saying that, oh, but I don't have time. I only have like 1 to 2 hours a day. Still, it's okay. Like even me, I had to freaking earn money back in the days when I was in Korea. You know, I wanted to learn English, but at the same time, I was doing YouTube, right? Because I wanted to film my YouTube videos in English, and I had to like I was busy all the time as well. There was a time I couldn't do shadowing like only 30 minutes, but I made the time to do the shadowing consistently, you know? Consistency, and then if you don't have time, freaking make the time. If you don't have time, then like between the work, for example, when you're in the bus, when you're in the car driving, just keep listening to English. Like just try to use your situation, not complain about the fact that you don't have the time and then just like self-rationalize, you know?
Are there some other methods that you start to implement that you think really help you improve your English?
Oh, for sure, man. Like cut out the Korean friends. There's a lot. Yeah, like literally you have to cut out all your Korean friends. What I meant by Korean friends is that because number one, you're gonna be speaking in Korean all the time, every time you meet your friends. But me, there is this like one friend that I was meeting every single day, but he was the guy, like Hyungmin, the guy who could speak only English alphabet, right? That guy. We talk in English all the time because we understood that if we speak in Korean all the time, every time we meet, we're never gonna improve our English. And then the another reason that we have to cut out all like literally all our friends is that obviously there's gonna be the friends that we want to keep around with, but literally like 99% of the friends that who are around us, they're freaking NPCs. Not only because of the English learning purposes, but also in order to achieve the reality, the identity we want, we need the super successful mindset, you know? If we like keep hanging out with all these like NPCs around us, like they're all saying the same thing, like, oh, going to the university is like the best like stable option that we have to select in life, and after university we gotta get this like stable job, and then freaking retire at the age of 60 with this small amount of money. All these NPCs' opinion is so like contagious, like it's like a freaking virus, you know? Virus, literally, it's like a virus. We gotta like teach all these people who are having this NPC mindset, and then surround us with the player characters, you know, who have this mindset of like that is against the system, so that we can be different. If we keep listening to the people who we want to become, right, we end up becoming like them. So that's why I didn't listen to my parents. Why? because I didn't want to be my parents. Obviously, I respect my parents. I love my parents. But what they're saying was, oh, Sumi, you have to go to the university. Sumi, you have to, at least like go to the Toronto University that you got accepted. Or Sumi, get the stable job. Fuck that shit. It doesn't really important. It's not really important. Yeah. So that's why cut out the friends. Don't listen to the people who we want to become. People around us, we just gotta like, don't give a shit about it. But because like still like you would understand as a nation, if we hold it's hot now. If we listen, like when parents give the advice to us, right? It's kind of convincing. It's kind of convincing that it kind of makes sense. Oh, when they say like still like Leo, isn't it important to go to the university and get the stable job at least? We feel like still like let's see, let's at least try for a year. The job. We get to like accept their opinion, but we gotta cut that route, because still their opinion is freaking NPC. All the people around us, they're freaking NPC. We cannot listen to them. So that's why when I was learning English, I was only listening to the people who I want to become. Like for example, when I just started to learn English, I listened to Andrew Tate a lot. Andrew Tate, Andrew Tate, right? So I was like so fascinated. And now I just started to learn English, and he was teaching about all this like mindset and how to become as a man, how to earn tons of money and etc. But now like our philosophy is a bit different. He's like focusing on the money, but now I'm focusing on the work that I truly enjoy, and the money would come along with it. That's my mindset. But anyway, yeah, that can be also the method, man.
Nice. So because you mentioned Andrew Tate, I think he's a very impressive speaker. He's like insanely articulate. So I guess if people want to like practice shadowing and you don't mind watching his videos, I think it can be a good idea. I think you will become very good at speaking.
Yeah, she's like capturing people's attention so well with this like words, Yeah, so great.
So when it comes to shadowing, did you get inspired by that Korean guy you were talking about? Like, how did you discover this method?
Yeah, like he was talking about the shadowing method. That's the first time I heard about shadowing, and then I implemented by myself, and then I did improve, but I couldn't see the massive results. So that's why I started to discover all my other methods that I'm like explaining,
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick thing about shadowing. So I'll share my experience, and you can share what you think. So at one point in my life, I was like shadowing pretty seriously, but I didn't see a lot of improvements. And then for whatever reason, I stopped trying to improve my English. And then later, I had another reason that I wanted to improve my English. So I started to improve my English. And then when my English got better, I look back and I realized that at that time when I was practicing shadowing, I didn't really know certain pronunciation exists. So in the past, I didn't know this sound, like TH sound, or like there are certain sounds that are not present in Chinese, and I wasn't aware of that. So in the past, when I was shadowing, like people maybe they say that pronunciation, but I didn't know. So I was like saying something else. So did you have this problem? And what do you think about my story?
Yeah, I did. I think I did have some problems of pronouncing the words. But if you use the program called Language Reactor, the one that I told you about, if we click the word that we don't know, there's gonna be the exact pronunciation that coming out. And then every time I didn't know how to pronounce specifically, I just like search it up, pronunciation, and then let's say the word specifically. Pronunciation specifically, and then there's this like British accent and then American accent, and then I was trying to slowed it down the accent as well, and then try to grasp the accent fully,
I think my problem was I thought I knew the pronunciation already, because I didn't have enough knowledge, because I was like, I only think these sounds exist. I didn't know there are like other sounds that exist.
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally, what really helped me was I tried to learn what are the pronunciations that are present in English. And then
Mm-hmm.
I realized that, oh, okay, there are these sounds that I didn't really know before. And after I learned that, when I listen to English, I am more like, I have more knowledge. So I can
Mm-hmm.
pay more attention. So
Mm-hmm.
did you need to do something like this? Or in the beginning, you were already able to like know that, oh, I don't know exactly how to pronounce this word, and I need to try to
Uh-huh.
learn that. Because in the past, I didn't know I had a problem, basically.
This is the magic of the shadowing,
Okay.
because once you literally master the once you can literally repeat like exactly the same, right? Once you can exactly repeat the same line as the actor, right? That's the moment you go on to the next line. So if I was not satisfied with the accent that I didn't move on. So that's why I told you, sometimes you just take like 40 minutes per one line, right? Even if it's easy, right? So that's why, because of this like mindset that I have to do it perfectly and then move on to the next line, I just like absorb the accent so well. As you can see right now, like it's not the accent that Koreans use, right? Yeah, and then like read the repetition as well. If you do that, it, like if you do in a way like how I did with the perfection, move on to the next line. Once you can literally do exactly the same with that perfection, and then repeat the whole episode like 40 times, and then move on to the next episode and do exactly the same 40 times, and then move on to the next one, and again and again and again and again. You get to have the perfect accent, But sometimes I mispronounce things, But still, shadowing is the best.
Interesting. Yeah, I
Uh
guess
huh.
at that time, I didn't really have a crazily strong intention. Because
Mhm.
what you were saying is that you really need to try very hard to
Mhm.
sound like the people that you are watching.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you have this intention, I think you can probably notice that there are some pronunciation you didn't know exist before, and you try to
Mhm.
get there. Yeah, because in the past, I maybe I was just like repeating. I didn't try super ridiculously hard to sound
Mhm.
exactly like the people I was listening to. So
Mhm.
I didn't really know certain sounds exist.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, okay. But what are your thoughts on learning, like, what are the pronunciations that exist in English? Like, so this is called like international phonetic alphabet.
Mhm.
If you have heard it, do you think it's
I've
important
never
at
heard of
all?
it.
Like
Ma.
basically, like when you go check a word on dictionary, they are
Uh
going to
huh.
use, they are going to write down how you can pronounce it. They are going to be
Uh
like
huh.
symbols that
Uh
show
huh.
you how to pronounce the word. Do you
Uh
think it's
huh.
important to learn that?
The thing that because now I don't know about that. I know what you mean, but I didn't do it,
Okay,
and
okay,
I don't think it's important
okay,
because
yeah, yeah,
I didn't learn it,
yeah,
use
yeah,
that
yeah,
method to master English, right?
yeah,
Uh huh.
yeah. That makes sense. But for those that are listening, for me personally, learning that was pretty helpful for me
Mhm.
because,
Mhm.
like I said in the past, I didn't know there are these other sounds in English.
Mhm.
But after I started to expose myself to this international phonetic alphabet, I had more like awareness. So,
Mhm.
but you know what? I think this is actually related to diet because,
Mhm.
like in the past, when I was eating a modern diet, I had more brain fog. So
Mhm.
I had less ability to pay attention to things
Uh huh. Uh
because
huh.
the brain fog. Yeah.
Uh
But like if I was like eating a clean diet when I was growing up, I think when I
huh.
hear English words, I'm going to notice that, oh, they say things different. It's not
Uh huh.
this pronunciation right here. Chinese doesn't have this pronunciation. I need to try to
Uh huh.
speak like that. But
Uh huh.
because I had brain fog, so I didn't notice that.
Uh
So
huh. Uh huh.
what do you think?
Makes sense, man. Yeah. So that's why I teach my members to do the carnivore diet first of all, because we
Oh,
get to
based.
learn things faster. It's also
Yeah.
related. If we do the freaking modern peasants diet, eating tons of vegetables and bread and pasta and etc., you're never gonna learn fast. Right now, I learn things faster. I learned how to scale this business that I'm doing currently, coaching Koreans improve their mindset and English. I scale this much faster because why? I'm sticking to the strict carnivore diet.
Nice.
Yeah.
So are there some other methods you want to talk about?
Other methods. Let's see. Oh
And then
yeah,
I'm going to, yeah.
watch the method that you are already implementing is really great. Posting, like, I talked about posting our videos on social media, right? But this is also related. If we post our videos on social media, right, we're gonna be specifically talk about the topic that we want, right? For example, in your case, you're posting about the animal-based diet in your content. Then you get to have all these like tons of DMs from the English speakers who are interested in that area, right? Me as well. When I in the beginning, I was posting about all these like Korean high school vlogs, like doing all these vlogs in English, and there were a lot of pretty girls DMing me on Instagram. Oh, Sungmin, I want to learn Korean. I want to learn more about you. They want to be friends with me. You know, through Instagram, there were a lot of like pretty girls from the UK, America, wanted to be friends with me. I just had to select the person who I want to become the friends with, and then I just like do tons of video calls, hours and hours.
Mm,
So that's why I'm telling to my members, the Hello Talk, OMAD TV, all these like random chatting apps to meet English speakers is great. But the thing is, if we have our own social media and if we build our own social media presence, we don't need the random chatting apps.
mm,
Because if we speak English in our own content and build a social media presence, build a personal brand, we get to have all these like DMs flowing to us, wanting to be friends with us, and we get to have this like English speaker friends. And
mm.
if someone's pretty, we get to have this like pretty girl who can speak English as well. And if we have a girl who can speak English, that's the if we be in a relationship, right, and speak English all the time, that in that way we can learn English fast as well, you know. But anyway, it's also related. In conclusion, post a video on social media, build a personal brand, whatever topic that you're interested in. Not the freaking viral content. Oh, I'm gonna do mukbang. Not this typical influencer types of content that I used to do in the past. But the thing is, the actual content that we really want to do, then we get together all these people who are interested in this topic, and in this topic, we can literally be the best. We can literally be the expert and the speak perfect English in this area. You know, let's say you're doing the podcast. I bet your podcast skills, it is better than the average English speakers. If English speakers were about to do the podcast like how you do, they cannot do like you because you're expert in this area, and then your English in this area is way much better. Like, asking these kind of questions, flowing the interview in a way that makes guests comfortable and etc. Anyway, understood?
Yeah, there are definitely certain expressions that are pretty useful during like podcasts, and I guess like it's kind of like conversation skills. So the more you do this, the more you get better.
Yeah, because imagine, Leo, like there's an average American who are watching this video maybe. If they're about to do the podcast, they cannot do like you. They cannot ask the great questions. They can extract the great answers as well. But you're good at making the questions, like making the guests feel comfortable in a way that can have this like great answers in a way that can be helpful for the audience, right? If the average American were about to do the podcast, the interview like how you do, they cannot do it. But you're doing this great because you've been practicing a lot, and then you're being the best at this area at the moment. If you do this again and again, you're gonna be way much better interviewer, you know. So that's why I'm emphasizing we gotta speak English the best in our own area. We don't have to know all these like bullshit vocabulary that we don't even speak, you know.
Nice. So if someone, let's see, I want you to give people some actionable steps. So let's just take my past self, for example. So this is my past self. I think I'm pretty good at English. But when I want to speak English with other people, I feel very nervous, and I often don't have words. And I want to become a lot more good at speaking English. Like, what kind of steps do you suggest this person to take in order to take their English to the next level?
It's based on the level that they're in. They can speak
yeah.
right now like pretty great English, and they can speak, let's say, people who speak pretty great English, like because they're beginners, right? They just gotta start. The reason why they're beginners is because they're not even starting it. So they just gotta start, and then implementing every single method that we talked about in this podcast.
Yeah.
They just gotta start. So that one, beginners, they're not starting it. That's the tip. They just gotta start. But people who can already speak English but cannot take the English to the next level, that's when the social media method comes. That's when the teaching out all these freaking NPCs around what comes, the method. That's when really the monk mode needs, like solely locking in the goal that we really want to achieve. And then we really have to think, why do we need English, Based on our goals, it's also different, Because there are also a lot of members who join my program wanting to build a business using English, And in that case, they just gotta start the business right away. And then during the journey, they're gonna be learning the English that they need in business, Yeah, just I think that's the answer.
Sounds good. Did you have a very strong motivation in the beginning that made you really want to improve your English? Because you mentioned that you went to Malaysia and you kind of want to be able to speak with the people there, but that didn't sound like a very strong motivation. Did you have like I can take myself for example. So I was like working as an English teacher, and in the beginning, I think my English wasn't good whatsoever as a teacher. So I really have a strong motivation to improve my English. I really want to be a like suitable teacher, for lack of a better word. So did you have like something like that? Because like without that kind of experience, I didn't really have a huge reason to take my English to the next level.
I think it's the fact that I just wanted to escape Korea, I just wanted to leave. I just wanted to go abroad and meet foreigners, because I had this like motivation that I really want to just talk with a lot of people across the globe. Like I just love talking with the foreigners, I just love talking with the foreigners, and then I just wanted to have a beautiful foreign girlfriend. Yeah, my ideal type was back then a white girl who has this like blue eyes, like blonde hair. My current girlfriend, yeah, but she's not blonde, but she's like brunette. And then the fact that I just wanted a foreign girlfriend, the fact that I just wanted to freaking escape Korea, and in order to live abroad and escape Korea, I need to just like speak English, right? And the fact that I just loved learning it,
Yeah, interesting. It's really important to have a clear goal. I think a lot of the times you get a clear goal from failure, because like for example, I was like kind of having some failure, so I really want to improve my English. And for people that want to change their diet, for a lot of them, they also are like very unhealthy or something. So they start to have clear goal. So why do I want to say that? I guess you just need to be able to find clear goals, no matter how you do it.
Yeah, a lot
and
of
then
people.
You will have strong motivation.
True. They don't have the specific goals in life. Not only with the English, they just don't know what kind of work they want to do in life, that the money can just come along with it. They're just only looking for the money, working in a job, like paycheck to paycheck, getting paycheck to paycheck. They don't think that they can literally get the reality that they want, and they don't specify their goals. So they're like literally directionless in their life. Every single day, they just don't know what to do because they don't have the specific goals.
So it's pretty important for people to actually take the time to think about what they want to achieve.
Yeah.
Let me talk a little bit about subtitles. So you suggest people to not open subtitles when you are watching a video for the first time. After that, do you think people should be using subtitles?
I mean, like, so the worst thing that they can do is putting on the Korean subtitle or Taiwanese subtitle if Taiwanese people are watching this, because that's the worst way. What's the point of putting on the subtitle if you're trying to learn a language, right? Because in the real life conversation, is there a subtitle going on? No, we don't. We're not using the subtitle. The subtitle is not popping up at the moment, right? So that's why we gotta practice in a way that is suitable for the real life situation. So that's why the best way is to watch without the subtitle. But there were also the time me watching with the English subtitle, English one, because it's still way much better than watching with the Korean one, But still, best way is watching with the English subtitle, but literally the optimal way is watching without any subtitle, so that we can improve our pattern recognition that I talked about, we get to use more of our brain and then recognize the pattern and then learn the vocabulary in that way.
What if someone thinks that's boring? Because like maybe you are spending time watching a video and then you don't understand anything and you don't have the patience to keep going. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, so that's why I chose the content that I love because in the beginning I couldn't understand at all, right? So that's why I really kind of chose the story that I kind of knew, and then let's say it's just not fun. Still got to go through it. Hard work, you know. What are they trying to master English without any hard work? Yeah, and then, but for me personally, I just love doing that. I just loved it because like the more I consume the content, the more I started to understand, and I realized that I need to do it, and I knew that I must do it in order to master English.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
also I enjoyed it. Like the story, I
Yeah.
started to understand more and more and more, and that brought me the joy, you know.
Yeah, I guess it also goes back to what kind of goal do you have? Do you have a strong, clear goal? If you have that thing on your mind, you will have motivation to push through difficulties. I have heard someone say that when you are first practicing shadowing, it's a good idea to listen to audiobooks because when they are reading the audiobooks, they are like speaking more slowly. So, do you have any opinions on that?
I don't suggest watching all these like slowed version of English. It's not real one. We don't speak like this. No, everything based on real life. So that's why
Yeah,
shadowing as
yeah.
well. I moved on to the next line when I could say the exact speed, when I could repeat with the exact speed, and then the English content as well without any subtitle because that's the real life conversation. That's the real life English. I don't really suggest that.
Okay, nice.
Uh-huh.
And you have already talked about this a little bit already, but can you talk more about how much effort were you putting in on learning English? I want to give people an idea like how hard do you need to work?
Yeah, 24 hours. Except for the time when we sleep. Even when I was having a nap, right? Let's say I want to have a nap, and even that time, I want to like listen to exposed to English all the time. So even when I was taking a nap, I was putting on this like English drama, and then I was just like freaking putting all these like English deep into my subconscious mind, you know? Even when I was sleeping, even when I was just eating a meal, I was just watching something all the time in English. Even when I'm not watching anything, I just like turned on the English one. 24 hours. Even when I'm in Korean school, I didn't want to listen to Korean teacher, so I was like wearing the AirPods and then like editing my videos because in my videos I started to speak in English as well, right? 24 hours, except for the time we go to sleep.
How hard is it? Do you think it? Sorry, one more time. How hard do you think it is to become good at? Become good. How? Let me say this. I spoke Chinese. How hard do you think it is to become pretty freaking good at speaking English? Like,
How hard
yeah,
is
like
it?
I want you to talk about the amount of effort that a person need to put in your opinion.
Let's say, I mean, exactly the same effort that I put in, like 24 hours a day, except for the
Oh,
time we
I
sleep.
mean like I'm sorry. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard do you think
What?
it is to become pretty freaking good at speaking English
How
from like a
hard?
typical normal Korean person?
How hard? To be honest, it's like five. There's a reason because when they speak already fluent English, right? They speak what? They speak English and then they watch English content. Obviously, they speak in English all the time, like 24 hours a day. Their life is filled with English, right? So the reason I say five is once we change the identity, right? Everything is just so easy. Now, I shifted to an identity of Sungbin, just like Sungbin speaking English so fluently, yeah, like speaking English so comfortably, watching only like English content, and even if it's English content, I only like barely consume the content now because still English content there are also like freaking brain rot content that are giving zero value, right? Yeah, and then because there was this identity of Sungbin not being able to speak English at all, and then once I put all this like effort, changing 24 hours, like putting hard work 24 hours a day, every single day for a lot of years, and then I literally shifted to a new identity of Sungbin, feeling way much comfortable speaking English, and then just English is like just my life, you know, like how American feels English is their native language. I just feel English is my native language as well. Like it's coming out from my mouth just like so naturally now. Now I don't need to make the effort. Now I don't need to make the effort, if you know what I mean. Once you
Yeah, yeah.
reach to a certain level, you don't need to make an effort because you literally shifted to an identity of speaking English as your native language, like your native language. But to reach to that level, I would say, okay, like 9, you know, 9. You need the effort of 9, but now, like 1. Like now, the effort that I put is 1 because now I literally shifted an identity, you know.
I I agree with your reasoning a lot. I think in the beginning there is like a period of time that can be pretty challenging, but once you reach a certain point, it's like pretty effortless, pretty just it's like nothing. Like right now, you and me, we can still improve our English, but it's not going to be hard. It's going to come naturally. Yeah, but if we want to become, I guess you need to become good at learning English, and then it's going to be pretty easy. But when you are still not good at learning English, you still don't know how to improve. That when you are still in that stage, it can be pretty. You need to put in a lot of effort. Yeah, but it's pretty understandable because if it is pretty easy, then every Asian person is going to be speaking crazily good English,
Yeah,
right?
true.
Do you have any thoughts on reading articles?
Nah, it's lame.
Okay,
I don't, I don't do it. You know, I don't do it. I
okay.
only improve my English in a way doing things I love, content
Oh,
creation. You know, shadowing now I don't enjoy it because like now once you reach to a certain level, you don't need shadowing. You just need to use the English in your own area. For example, like me, content creation, I just need to use like keep improving my English in this area by keep creating the content, looking back my video, and then like giving me the feedback, giving the feedback to myself about the expressions that I should have said, and etc. Uh, article lame. I don't read it. I don't read article. But if it's
well,
article related to animal based science, sometimes I read it.
interesting. Would you give this same advice to people that are trying to learn English? You don't really suggest them to spend their time reading articles?
I mean, article is reading skills, right? Article is reading skills.
Oh,
Well, what they're trying to learn is speaking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Uh huh.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think reading articles has any special advantages? Or you think like you
Advantages.
just
I think we get to
don't
learn
want
the
to
words. I
prioritize
would
that?
say, yeah, we get to learn the words by reading the article, and then naturally, if you read tons of articles again and again and again and again, like how we consume content, we get to recognize the pattern, and then we get to learn the vocabulary as well. But the thing is, if it's not the article that I'm interested in, I don't want to watch. I don't want to read it. If I'm
Yeah.
really interested in the article, that I would read it, like animal-based diet. Well, like American government changed the the new diet formula as well. Like these kind of things, I would read it. But to the English learners, I would say they gotta focus on the shadowing, like the practical stuff that can actually improve their speaking skills. You know?
I guess it can be just an option for you on the side. Like when you get bored of your main learning activities, maybe you can read some articles to give you some other like hobby, but mainly maybe just focus on watching videos. Interesting. Have you read a lot of English books?
Uh not a lot, to be honest. I'm
Okay,
not a
but I think you have read some English novels, right?
yeah, I did. For me, in the beginning, I couldn't read the book with a lot of like difficult vocabulary. So I started off with the children's books like Charlie's Chocolate
Wow.
Factory. that book, and then I started to level up the difficulty. And then I
Yeah.
started to read about mindset. I started to read about success. Yeah. And then now I'm reading the book called like Reality Transurfing
Oh, yeah,
to
yeah.
learn the mindset to get the reality I want, you know?
Okay, nice.
Uh-huh.
Did you get inspired by anyone? Because I feel like normally, if you are just like a normal English learner from Asia,
Uh-huh.
you are not going to
Uh-huh.
think it's possible to read English books. You are just not going to
Uh-huh.
explore this possibility. So,
Uh-huh.
did you get inspired by anyone?
I think it all came from my enjoyment. Like reading books as well. I just wanted to do it. I just wanted to try. And
Yeah.
then I just wanted to try and then test my English and then learn something more, learn more English vocabulary. I just love the journey. Yeah, so
I
I
think
just like did it naturally.
I think if you want to improve your English, it's really important that you're able to push through the uncomfortable feeling of not understanding things. Because I'm sure, like when you were reading some books for the first time, there were a lot of parts that made you want to give up. But if you want to
Uh-huh.
improve, you need to be able to just get over that.
In
Would
that
you
kind of
agree with that?
situation, uncomfortable situation. I didn't think it as uncomfortable. Let's say there's the English. I'm reading an English book and there's some phrases that I don't understand. I just like read it out loud, and then I
Mm.
practice my accent. If I don't, in either way, I thought if I'm at least like reading this book, and if I don't understand, if I just like pronounce it out loud, still I'm practicing my accent, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like fun.
Okay.
In like I think every single second that I'm putting into English, right? Every single input that I'm putting into English, I believed is beneficial for me. You know, so they don't really have to think, oh it's difficult or it's uncomfortable. Even if it's uncomfortable, they're at least like benefiting themselves. You know, they're at least trying. There are a lot of people not even trying.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. This mindset is pretty helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Do you have any thoughts on using AI to learn English?
Oh sure, man. Like I have a friend all the time, ChatGPT. Like I ask some English sentences that I don't know. Like there's sometimes when they use some vocabulary that I don't know, right? I ask ChatGPT in English because we gotta talk with GPT in English. I always ask in English. So I tell my members all the time who join my program, don't use Korean through ChatGPT. But sometimes if they really cannot describe what they want to ask, they can ask in Korean, but most of the time in English. It's like having a native speaker right next to us. Because ChatGPT is gonna give us all these like response, and then I'm reading out the response as well. If I read it out loud, I'm practicing my accent once more, right? Yeah, ChatGPT is so great, man.
What I have noticed about talking with ChatGPT is that maybe you ask it some questions, and then
Mm-hmm.
when it is like giving you answers, it is going to talk about similar things that you are asking, but it's going to use better expressions. So I think that's pretty helpful for English learners. Like you can
Yeah,
learn some better ways to talk about the things you want to talk about because
very
it's
true.
like
Yeah.
basically a more advanced English speaker.
Mm-hmm. True. I'm gonna agree with that. Yeah.
Nice. Do you think it's important for someone to go to a English speaking country in order to improve their English?
I mean, it is beneficial, right? It's gonna benefit them. But the thing is, I did not master English by going to the English speaking country. I did it in Korea, right? So it's not necessary, but it's gonna be helpful if they can,
Hmm. Sounds
if they
good.
want to, you know. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me talk a bit about your students. So right
Mm-hmm.
now you are teaching people how to become great at speaking English. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure among them some are better and some are worse. So I
Mm-hmm.
want you to think about the student that is best at English in your opinion, and
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
you can tell me why do you think he's the best.
They just freaking do it. They just freaking do it. Like, okay, I'm gonna talk about the ones who are seeing the massive results, okay? They are the ones who are just like not complaining things, not making excuses, and just like implementing the every single method that I'm teaching them. Just because, like, imagine you want to be a favorite, like, you want to be good at soccer, all right? And Ronaldo, he has his like guidelines. He has his like own own guide maps on how he became the soccer player, right? And you just need to follow one by one to become that version. Same with English. Same with everything. Same with a woman who's freaking overweight, who's freaking obese, like who's like 200 kilograms. What is the reason? If she follows the proper method, what is the reason why she's obese? She's eating all these like processed carbs and then all these junk foods, so that's why she's overweight, right? So there is this method that she can just like follow to lose the weight to become healthy, which is doing the proper diet, which is animal based diet, and then having the healthy lifestyle, getting much more sunlight, and then having some workout. She will lose the weight eventually. Same with English. They just need to follow the freaking method and not complain things. But a lot of the members who are seeing the best results, they're just putting the work, putting the input every single day, no matter what happens, and they just do exactly the same, like how I'm teaching, and they're just enjoying the journey as well. They're just loving the journey, you know. But the ones who are obviously there are the ones who are not seeing the results. They just don't do it. I'm not saying all of the students who are joining my program are all seeing the results. No, they're not doing it. They're just not doing it. Because it is a hardcore, right? I'm teaching the hardcore level of mastering English. They just don't do it. They gotta put hours and hours into English every single day. Even the way... They just gotta go crazy. They just gotta be the maniac. But the ones who are maniac, they see the results. But if they don't, but still they'll improve because my method is just like so powerful. But if they don't even do it at all, they don't improve. They don't improve seriously. Yeah.
When you are looking at an English speaker, what traits do they need to have in order for you to think that they are pretty good at English?
I mean, as long as they can express whatever they want to say with the understandable accent, then I think it's pretty great. You know, I think we can say that. No, your English is great, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I want you to think about your students. When they are speaking English, do you think there are some mistakes that they should stop making?
They should stop making. This is like the one trait that I've noticed. There's taking such thing as Sunday vlog, right? Sunday vlog, like they're filming themselves speaking in English and they're just like posting on their social media. Or if they don't want to post it publicly, they're just like putting inside the submission box that I made. But they're always saying, today I'm making a Sunday vlog. Vlog. Like I think it's just pronunciation, you know? Vlog. They say it like this, you know. But over time they're gonna learn the proper pronunciation, so it doesn't really matter. They just gotta do it. That's it. They just gotta do it. They just gotta implement the method. They just gotta do what I say, you know. If they follow exactly to a T, they will get the results that they want. But sometimes I don't understand people. They just don't do it, you know.
Okay. Do you feel like some people are like too worried about grammar or like too overly nervous when they are speaking English? And if so, do you have any suggestions for them?
Yeah, there are some people worrying about the fact that they will make mistakes, right? Grammar mistakes and etc. But I'm telling them all the time, they gotta make mistakes. They gotta aim for making much more mistakes. Because if there's no mistake, right, there's no feedback coming back to us. If we at least if we make the mistakes, when English speakers hear what we said, they're gonna correct our grammar, correct our words. We get to learn something new, right? So that's why I'm telling my members all the time: make more mistakes, make tons of mistakes, so that you can improve so fast. Mm-hmm. That's our aim. We gotta change the perspective.
Yeah, I guess we don't need to look at mistakes like something that we need to be ashamed of. We need to just be kind of happy about that because you have more opportunities to improve. But another thing is, I feel like making mistakes is not that big of a deal. Like sometimes you can make mistakes when you are talking and people can still completely understand you. You just don't want to make mistakes that will make you be misunderstood or something. I think, you know what, like I used to struggle with this, and it has a lot to do with our like Taiwanese English education, because they always try to emphasize that when you are using words like he and she, and you
Mm-hmm.
put a verb after that, you need to say he speaks great English.
Mm-hmm.
You need to put s after the word speak. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in the past, when I was like speaking English, I would always think in my mind like, should I put s after the word?
Mm-hmm.
And I would just like overthink before I speak,
Mm-hmm.
and then I actually will make other mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like, for example, when you say, "Did you eat steak yesterday?"
Uh-huh.
You are not going to say, "Did you ate?" Because
Uh-huh.
this is
Uh-huh.
like grammar, right? You will
Mm-hmm.
say, "Did you eat?" You will use the normal verb. But in the past, I would like overthink before I say that kind of sentence because of the programming. Like people always say
Mm-hmm.
that, oh, you need to use this kind of verb when you are speaking
Mm-hmm.
English. So I'll overthink, and then maybe I'll end up saying, "Did you ate steak yesterday?"
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thinking too much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, have you ever dealt with that? I feel like a lot of people that have received standard English education will struggle with this.
Yeah, in the beginning as well, I thought about it. She speaks or she speak. He
Um,
has or he have. But we need this. We need this process, to be honest. We need this process to actually master our English, right? Yeah, I'm not suggesting people to not care about the grammar at all, right? Just say whatever you want, but whatever you want. No, no, no. Like sometimes we have to, like think, and because of the thinking, if we like think like that over and over again with the repetition, we get to naturally speak without thinking the grammar as well. He speaks, she ate. Yeah, we need to sometimes think in the beginning.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I feel like standard education gives people a little too much pressure on this. Like
Uh huh.
they make it seem like you can never make this kind of mistakes.
Uh huh.
So it gives you like extra stress when you are trying to speak English. But I
Uh
think
huh.
it's not that important.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are naturally going to know how to say those things when you are like getting input. So you don't
Mm-hmm.
really need to constantly be reminded of this, because
Mm-hmm.
like standard education is always trying to tell you that, oh, this is the only perfect way to say it. You need to remember this. And
Uh
then
huh.
when you are trying to speak or something, you just like you are always thinking about it.
Uh huh.
So that's like another bad thing about standard education, in my
Uh huh.
opinion.
True. Freaking system, man. But Leo, by the way, I'm very sorry, but in 10 minutes I have a client call. Is there a lot of more questions coming up?
We are coming to an end, so
Okay, let's
I
go.
I can wrap it up, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the time, by the way. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
sure,
like a
for sure.
little
I,
long.
I love it, man.
I know this can be pretty great for you because I think I'm pretty good at asking questions. So
Uh-huh.
because I also have like experiences learning English, so
Uh-huh.
I know what are the questions I should be asking. So I think maybe
Uh-huh.
you can make some clips from this. It will be
Uh-huh.
pretty helpful. Yeah, but yeah,
Oh, for sure.
really appreciate you doing this with me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, and I would like you to talk a bit about your coaching business. So if someone is
Mm-hmm.
like interested in improving their English by applying for your coaching service, what are they
Mm-hmm.
going to get?
What are they gonna get? Freaking the mindset that is against the system. All these NPCs, they're having this like typical NPC mindset, only looking to get a job, stable job. But I'm teaching the mindset that they can literally get the reality that they want. And the English as well. To be honest, English is so easy. As long as they follow the proper method and mindset, they can improve their English. But what I really want them to do is, I really want them to find the work they truly enjoy and earning tons of money out of it. And thankfully, a lot of the members that I'm attracting are like the past version of me. And the past version of me, I love making videos, right? And right now as well. So they're all interested in like building the personal brand. So now I'm teaching them how to
Mm,
build a social media presence and then make videos that they want and then monetize out of it. Whether or not it's selling the products or whatever they want, I'm making their dreams come true. Because this is this is the thing that I really want them to achieve. English is so easy, just so easy as long as they follow the method and mindset. but getting the reality that they want, they don't think it's impossible. They don't think it's possible, you know? So that's what I'm mainly trying to help.
Okay. Who do you think your coaching service are for?
Or for people who are literally sick and tired of not seeing the results in English, no matter how much of effort they put in, how many methods they used. And not only with the English, but also the content as well. You know, if they're struggling with making the content and don't know how to monetize out of it, I think I can help them with that. And then people who want to just escape the repetitive jobs and then university life and then just experience the whole new world, right? I will suggest them to join my program, you know?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Sounds like something that's going to be pretty helpful for me.
Oh, really? Uh-huh. But all the lessons are made in Korean. That's why.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Mixture of Korean and English, you know?
Let's see. Have you come across any challenges after you started to teach people English online?
Just people quitting, man. That's it.
Oh,
I just don't want them to quit. If they just do exactly the same, they will get the results. But when they quit, there's nothing I can do about it.
yeah.
They're quitting on their life. They're not only quitting the English, they're also having the mindset of quitting other stuff as well. They're gonna have the mindset of, oh, if something isn't working, if I don't get the fast results, I can just quit. With that mindset, they're gonna approach other things in their life. They're gonna never get the reality that they want. You know, once they want to do something, they should never quit. Like animal based style coaching, I was doing. I was never quitting. For 7 months, I was not seeing the results, but I was never quitting every single day. But I could get only 2 clients, you know, only 2 clients. But I was never quitting. And then with that mindset, I approached this like, and English as well. I was never quitting. Well, like, quitting isn't supposed to be the solution in life. You know, you just gotta find the solution. Every time we face a problem, we just gotta find the solution to it, not just quitting it.
Very motivational. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay, I have got 2 more questions for you. So
Mm-hmm.
the next one is, what are your thoughts on the questions like, how are you? How are you? What's up?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I suppose they don't really have this kind of expressions in Korea, right? So when
Uh-huh.
people say this to you, do you feel like a little unsure about how to react to this?
I don't know. If you do tons of shadowing, right, you know how to react. Yeah, and
Okay.
then like if you do tons of like real life conversation as well, how are you? Oh, how would I feel right now? I'm good. Like today, I did something, and then I just had the podcast with Leo, and then right now I'm getting a lot of sunlight, so I feel good. You know, like the answer just comes out naturally. You know. But in the beginning, I didn't know how to respond, obviously. But I literally shifted to a new identity now that I comfortably answer things. You know, with the Korean identity, I wouldn't know how to answer, obviously, but I changed, literally shifted to a new
Oh,
identity. So now it's just like, oh, I can just say the obvious answers, you know.
okay, okay.
Uh,
And I guess this is kind of related, but do you have any tips for people that are not confident when they are speaking English?
Confident, just obviously you're not confident. So accept that you're not. Accept that you don't need the confidence. Obviously, you don't. You cannot be confident if you're not good at it. I was not confident at it, but over time, with the practice, you get to be confident. Okay, you're not confident. Accept it. I know you're not confident, but still do it. The reason you're not confident is the fact that you're not perfect. Okay, so you just need to practice, right? Simple.
Okay, sounds good. Let
Uh
me give you the last question of this interview, a
huh.
little random. So,
Uh
do
huh.
you have any messages that you want to say to people that want to improve their English or people that are eating a meat based diet?
Uh huh. Ah, message. Meat-based diet. Meat-based animal-based diet. You know, if they want to leave the current live, if they're satisfied with their current life, satisfied with their current body and mind and skin and etc., just keep sticking to that peasant diet if they want to. But if they take their life to another level, having much more energy, having much more clarity in life, then they got to do the proper diet. In English, but if you're trying to learn English just to get the certificate, just to get into a great company, like it's not aligning with my philosophy, because I learned English because I really enjoyed it, because I love talking with the foreigners, because I wanted to escape Korea. And if they're learning English just for the certificate purposes, just for the test purposes, you don't watch my video. They're not the ones that I want to help. And don't ever quit. Put tons of effort. That's it.
Alright, guys, this has been your guest, Sunbin. I'm your host,
Uh-huh.
Eggman. Sunbin, thank you so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Peace.
For those that are listening, if you are interested in this kind of interview, keep an eye on your boy because I'm going to pump out more and more interesting interviews like this. And you are welcome to check out the playlist on my channel that has all the interviews I have done previously. Peace out, guys.
All right. Peace.
Yeah.